In the wake of two recent life-affirming Supreme Court rulings, the grim reality of abortion was brought to the attention of Chicago and the surrounding area during the 15th annual Face the Truth Tour. Life activists held large pictures of aborted babies along busy intersections in the city and suburbs.
These signs are more effective than any other tool we have for bringing the reality of abortion present to people. To this day, so many people remain ignorant about what abortion really does to its victims. These pictures show it.
During a Face the Truth stop in Joliet, Eric Scheidler, the executive director of the Pro-Life Action League, told IllinoisFamily.org News that the disturbing photographs send a powerful reminder to motorists and pedestrians that abortion kills babies.
Some people obviously are very upset to see these pictures. They're disturbing. They should be disturbing because abortion is a disturbing reality. Then there are those people who are grateful that we're here, and there are the many who see these signs for the first time and have a change of heart. In many cases, we've actually had people cancel abortion appointments because they saw these signs that day.
And thanks to the Supreme Court, Face the Truth and the pro-life movement are invigorated. There's very interesting timing to this year's Face the Truth tour.
That's right. We've just had two major pro-life victories in the United States Supreme Court. A very well-known Hobby Lobby case. The Supreme Court struck down part of the HHS mandate that requires employers to provide abortion-inducing drugs and contraceptives for free in their health plans. And then even more importantly, from the perspective of an activist like me, the unanimous McCullen versus Coakley decision, which struck down a buffer zone in Massachusetts, and now buffer zones that hinder the work of pro-life activists, especially sidewalk counselors, are being struck down and put on hold all over the country. So America's really thinking about abortion right now. The timing couldn't be more perfect for this event. We've had much more interest from the media. We have more people out here volunteering than we've had in past years here in Joliet, where we're right now. And so I think the abortion issue is very hot, and it's just wonderful for us to be able to engage in that interest in this special way that shows the reality of this issue that otherwise becomes kind of theoretical to people.
So the bubble zone ruling in particular has helped to ramp up interest in what you're doing.
That's right. People have this vindication coming from the Supreme Court showing that what we're doing is peaceful, that it's lawful, that pro-life activists are citizens whose rights deserve to be respected. And that helps us to then make the case that these children's lives also need to be respected. They have a right to life that must be respected. So it's a really golden opportunity to show the reality of abortion.
From a legal aspect, has it helped your relations with police and city officials and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. We've had police officers around the country start to question these bubble zones that they've been enforcing. We've had city councils revisit the question. We've had judges already enjoining some of those bubble and buffer zones around the country because of that ruling. So it's a very exciting day for pro-life activism.
Recent polling by Rasmussen finds that the number of Americans who consider themselves pro-life is at an all-time high of 44% of likely voters, and a majority of 52% now consider abortion to be morally wrong most of the time. That's not surprising to Joseph Scheidler, who says after more than 4 decades of personal life advocacy, he's seen sentiments about abortion changing more favorably toward life, particularly among young people who are increasingly involved in the pro-life cause. The national director of the Pro-Life Action League spoke with IllinoisFamily.org News during a Face the Truth event at Daley Plaza in Chicago.
I would say we're getting better response than we ever did in the past. In other words, people have accepted the fact that abortion is an ugly thing and we have to show it. And we've gotten a lot of thumbs up, and a number of people, believe it or not, have stopped and asked to hold signs.
One thing I've noticed on the Face the Truth tour over the last couple years that I've covered it is the increase in the amount of young people involved in the Face the Truth tour. That's got to be encouraging to you.
It's very encouraging. So many of the young people now are homeschooled, or they come to have a real faith, belief in God, and that's the beginning of pro-life. When you believe God is the author of life, then you see the value of life. And there are many, many young people coming out and marching. We have the Crusaders and other groups all over the country. These truth tours are going over as we sit here in Chicago, in Cincinnati, in Atlanta, Georgia, all over the country, Baltimore, Maryland. So it's taken hold, and there a great number of the people holding the signs are very young people, as you can see here today.
And like his son Eric, Joseph Scheidler is optimistic that Chicago's so-called bubble zone ordinance will be struck down now that the Supreme Court has ruled against the Massachusetts buffer zone law that opponents contend impeded pro-life sidewalk counseling.
Our freedom of speech is not protected because we're going to talk about abortion. You can talk about anything else, but if the subject is abortion, they've taken away our freedom of speech. So we're getting it back. And I think it's only right that we do.
Well, when do you expect any kind of decision on Chicago's bubble zone ordinance?
I think in the early fall. I think as soon as our attorneys present it, it's going to be ruled the bubble zone in Chicago unconstitutional.
With the conclusion of the Face the Truth tour, the Pro-Life Action League and other pro-life groups are preparing for the observance of the National Day of Remembrance for aborted children on September 13th. For IllinoisFamily.org News, I'm Monty Larrick.
This has been brought to you by the Illinois Family Institute, promoting marriage, family, life, and liberty in the land of Lincoln. For more information, go to IllinoisFamily.org.